The same way that writers can learn from comic books, novels, video games, TV shows, and all sorts of other creative mediums, they should be utilizing music. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you 5 different ways that you can utilize music to make yourself a better and more effective writer. Let's get started. Sup peoples, and welcome back to another video. Now, you've probably heard me talk over the last couple months, if you're a subscriber already, about different ways that music have been helping me with NaNoWriMo. And if you're not a subscriber, then you should definitely hit that subscribe button. Today, I'm going to be walking you through 5 ways that I think music can make you a better and more effective writer. The first is that it's just another wonderful creative medium to absorb and then turn into your own ideas. The same way that I think that all writers should be readers, I think that writers can learn a lot from music and get a lot of ideas from music. I will often give my characters a specific song that I think is their soundtrack, or listen to certain songs that make me think of certain worlds or things along those lines. And in this way, I can really get into sort of like a rhythm with their backstory. For example, I recently started listening to a certain Imagine Dragons song, and I tied it to the backstory of one of my characters. And every time I listen to that song, I would just see this character's backstory like the theme to its trailer. And in this way, I figured more things out about my character. I figured things out about them emotionally by figuring out why this song reminded me of them, why it resonated with me and them so much. It's a very angry song, and it sort of made me realize the sort of anger that this character has that I wasn't necessarily thinking about until I realized that that was what reminded me of them in this song. So I think that giving your characters a theme song can be great. The same way that role players will make playlists for their characters, you can totally do that with your characters in writing. And if you'd like to see me talk about what I think role-playing can do to help make you a better and more effective writer, let me know, because I can definitely make that video. I can definitely make that video. In the same way that writing can be a boost to your creativity, it can also be a boost to your focus and effectiveness. As I've been writing with NaNoWriMo, my computer where I write is right in my living room. And I know this video is coming out way after NaNoWriMo, but at the time of me filming it, I'm in the middle of NaNoWriMo, and music has been really helping me. Not only does it help me to block out background noise, using the same music every single time that I write has trained my mind over time that when this song comes on, it's time to write. And being in a place where everyone is always walking around, everyone's talking, there's pots clattering in the background, my sister is talking to my mom, etc., or even the fact that I write on the same computer that I work on, having a way to train my mind to tune out these distractions when the certain song comes on has been really helpful to letting me write even when distracting things are going on around me. I definitely need silence, or at least white noise sort of things when I'm writing, because I cannot write if I'm distracted at all. So using writing sprints has been incredibly helpful for me. I will link my writing sprint playlist up above, which is actually what I've been using on NaNoWriMo long to help me get this writing done. My favorite currently is the coffee shop playlist, but you might have a different favorite. Number 3 is that it can help you set the tone. When you are listening to music, I've found that it sort of just creates a vibe, it creates an atmosphere. And when your writing is trying to have a vibe or atmosphere, or maybe you're writing a scene that's really heavy, or it has lots of moody undertones, or even just a cheerful, upbeat scene that you want to feel cheerful and upbeat while you're writing. I think that using certain songs to kick your brain into that gear can really help, because then you're not trying to create this vibe in your story, you're trying to translate this vibe that's in your music to your story. You're already feeling that vibe, so your writing will automatically be more like that. I've found that while I'm writing my NaNoWriMo novel, Project Eros, which is sort of an upbeat, fun romance, I'll just catch myself grinning when someone says something that they'd smile after. I'm very much in tune with the characters. And listening to the right songs can have that same effect. Think about the way that movies and TV shows use soundtracks. So much of the emotion that we feel when we're watching something on the big screen is because the music is lifting you or making you feel down. It's guiding your emotions. Music is very emotional, and we should harness that element of it to affect ourselves, to then affect our writing. Have you ever experienced that feeling when the whole world zones out and it is just you and the page or your keyboard and the words are flying from your fingers? It's an amazing feeling, and I don't feel it very often, but when I do, it's often because I can get into that sort of flow state. I've found that music can help with this, because if it's drowning out all my thoughts except the atmosphericness of this story or whatever I'm thinking about in the story, then I'm able to just purely focus on writing and let myself be fully immersed in the story, and that is how I will enter that sort of flow state and just be writing. I'm not thinking about the car going by outside or the beeping of the oven, which maybe I should think about, but luckily I'm not usually the one cooking, so. Sometimes I will achieve this flow state because everything is in perfect silence. But perfect silence is a lot harder to come by when you live with other people, and not everyone is alone, or even necessarily even if they are alone, they might have a barking dog or a bad radiator that just keeps clanking. And just these little things can help snap you out of that. They'll pull you out of the flow state that you've achieved with your writing. And that's why music is so helpful, because if you choose the right song and it's repetitive enough, it can act almost like white noise and help you zone everything out. So it's just you and your pencil and your paper. Finally, it can help provide inspiration. If you are like me, every time that you hear a song, you instantly must know the lyrics, and you must know the meaning behind them. And if you don't know the meaning behind them, you attach meaning that is related to one of your characters from your story. Does anybody else do this, or is this just me? Going back to the example of the Imagine Dragons song that I recently started listening to, I was able to link it to this character's backstory because of one, the tone and the mood. That's two things, but they're sort of the same. And two, the lyrics. The lyrics felt like my character was saying them in their internal monologue, and it felt like the thing that was pushing them forward. So every night I would listen to this song and I would act out things that my character did, and I'm very much a role player, so I sort of treat my characters like role play characters a lot, and I found this really helpful. So again, if you want that video, just comment down below about it. Or like this video, I'll take that too. But in this way, I was able to flesh out elements of their backstory and their personality that I didn't necessarily think about before. Think about lyrics and how they paint an image of a person in your mind or a world, and apply this to your own story. I'm not saying write a character based off of a Metallica song, but if a Metallica song makes you picture a cool castle that perfectly suits your villain, then I doubt it makes anyone else picture that exact cool castle. Don't take the lyrics super literally, but see what they evoke in your mind and use that in your writing. Music and writing are both creative mediums after all. It's only natural that writers can learn from studying music the same way that they can learn from studying TV shows or novels or comics or whatever other written medium they can learn from. Hopefully this video helped you out, and depending on what kind of writer you are, I will link two playlists on the screen. One is for all kinds of writers, such as novels or comics, and one is more comic book specific. I'm personally a comic writer at heart, but I also dabble in novels, so I can teach you a little bit about both. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day.